Alright, e-commerce people, it's the dead middle of Q1, we have the frantic period of Valentine's Day behind us, and that means consumer behavior is finally catching up and dragging us out of the winter doldrums, and we can think about holistic marketing strategy moving forward. This week on this week's game plan, we're going to explain network effects between YouTube and Facebook to make sure that you are prepping for your spring sales as best as possible. All of that's ahead on this week's game plan. Hello, hi, and welcome once again to this week's game plan, a, get this, weekly series where we take you through the details you need to scale your e-commerce business online week by week, channel by channel. This week, since we're finally seeing that beautiful uptick of consumer behavior that happens mid-February into March, leading us to just a normal Q1, we're going to be getting into the network effects you can produce between the advertising duopoly. Specifically, I want to talk about acquiring customers using YouTube and then retargeting them via Facebook. The issue with this series is I hope you're watching it in 2020 because this situation may change in a year, and I don't think you're watching it in the past because that's, not possible with the whole space-time continuum. Regardless, here in 2020, we're seeing some really awesome shifts where YouTube acquisition spend is getting a little bit lower, which means you can cheaply acquire customers using the YouTube platform and then retarget them via the very robust retargeting apparatus within the Facebook platform. It's a really excellent 1-2 punch that really lowers your CPA and gets you a lot of really great customer relationships right off the bat. So to talk about the YouTube side here, it really depends on creative, but you can apply some network effects within the Google platform itself. And to explore the complexities there, let's go ahead and talk to Gustav Dahl, our Director of Paid Search here at Mute6.
So to make Google an efficient customer acquisition channel, really the first focus should be on creative. Having creatives with a strong 5-second hook, really highlighting what your unique selling points are and focusing on benefits instead of features. And really, what we'd like to do is really make creative that feels really native to the YouTube platform. So testimonial-like creatives that are direct to camera and sort of emulates the style of popular influencers on YouTube. That tends to work really well. But expanding into bidding methods, automated bidding strategies, and leveraging Google's algorithm tends to work really well at driving more scale. And in terms of audience targeting, building custom audiences based on URLs that your target demographic might be interested in, based on what they've searched on Google in the past week or so, building lookalike audiences based off of your customer email list, based off of your high LTV customer segments, tends to really drive performance.
And while there's a lot of robust functionality when it comes to retargeting in the Google platform, what's really exciting is getting these two algorithms to play off of each other and utilize the robust retargeting apparatus within the Facebook platform to generate conversions from these folks you're acquiring on YouTube. To go into that, we're going to go ahead and talk to Caroline Spence, our VP of Paid Social here at Mute6.
So most of our clients are across several paid channels, and I rarely come across anyone who's just on Facebook or paid social anymore. So you really need to take a holistic view of all of your channels and all of the content that you're delivering to your customers or prospective customers on those platforms, and consider how you can retarget them specifically on Facebook. So you may want to think about the video that someone has viewed on YouTube, for instance, and how you can carry on that story, carry it over from YouTube into Facebook remarketing to speak directly to those customers who may be less familiar with the brand. They may not have considered or visited the website and looked at your products, but they're somewhat familiar with the brand and the story there. So on Facebook, you can specifically target people based on UTM parameters and create audiences based off of those UTM parameters. So I would consider segmenting your remarketing audiences based on where they came from, and then you can specifically continue the story and the conversation that you've had with them on those other platforms.
And while you're exploring this, one of the most important things to keep in mind is this is how you build a holistic marketing strategy. A lot of performance marketers will tell you that you can survive by keeping these channels in their own isolated islands, but eventually you are going to run into rising costs, especially as you scale. So getting the duopoly to play off of each other is extremely important, and the main way you do that is via UTM discipline. I'm going to do a whole video on this later. If I have done it by the time you watch this video, it's going to appear whoosh, right here, right now. Watch that, because UTM discipline, i.e. making sure that your tags on Facebook and your tags on Google are as close as possible is not going to like make them unify, but it's going to be passively coherent, which allows you to build a more full spectrum marketing strategy. You do that with Facebook and Google, and then you can plug that into your email campaigns and your SMS campaigns and any other platform you're using. And if you get that, you're not going to be able to follow the customer platform to platform, but you are going to see what kinds of campaigns work across the whole journey, and also plan out a full customer journey from cradle to grave. That's a little morbid, but I'm gonna roll with it. Doing it this way is going to get you over the D2C hump, and it's going to make sure that you stay robust and stay agile throughout your entire company's life cycle. So keep that in mind, but otherwise, stick to the plan, and that's been this week's game plan. Thank you so much. Thanks for sticking around for our end screen here. Please, as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the YouTube things. Make sure you also check us out at mute6.com/live and get on our email list so we can hit you up with other kinds of content. Maybe check out our podcast as well. And as always, we like to leave you with peace, love, and ROI.